welcome to today's podcast. I'm really excited about this topic because it's something that challenges the way we have always thought about education. We're going to be talking about homeschooling, an alternative that's becoming more and more popular around the world. Some people say it gives children freedom and creativity, while others argue it might hold them back. Personally, I believe homeschooling has huge potential, and I want to explore why many families are calling it the best choice for their kids. So let's dive in. Here is our guest, ChatGPT, to answer all these myths and the questions which have raised in the parents' mind for a long time. So now our guest, Mr. ChatGPT, is going to answer all the things. More and more, parents are stepping away from traditional schools. That makes me wonder. So tell me, why do you think homeschooling is becoming so popular?
Well, let's get right into it. And I'll just tell it like it is. Homeschooling's on the rise because a lot of parents are looking around and thinking, hey, maybe we want a little more say in how our kids learn. It's kind of like stepping off the beaten path and saying we can tailor education to fit our kid rather than the other way around. So it's really just getting popular because people want that flexibility.
I often hear people worry that kids are at home don't get enough interaction. Some people say homeschooling isolates children. Do you agree?
Yeah, let's just cut right to the chase on that one. Honestly, I think that fear of isolation is kind of one of those old school myths that's been flipping around for ages. The truth is, homeschooling these days often includes a lot of community groups, co ops, and activities where kids get plenty of interaction. So, no sugarcoating, doesn't really have to be isolating at all. In fact, a lot of Gen Z parents are out there making it pretty social and pretty dynamic. So, bottom line, nah, I don't really agree.
And I actually think kids can socialize in sports clubs, religious gatherings, and even online communities. It doesn't always have to be inside a classroom. So, how do homeschooled kids build social skills and make friends outside school?
Absolutely, you nailed it. Homeschooling in the real world often means kids are out and about, joining sports teams, hitting up those community classes, or even just getting together with other homeschool families for all kinds of group activities. So, yeah, they're definitely not just stuck at home. They build social skills in all sorts of places outside of classroom. So, it's just another way of doing things, and it can be pretty practical and pretty fun for the kids.
That's great. Another doubt people raise is about academics. Some think so. Schools are more structured and professional. Can homeschooling really match the academic quality of a traditional schools?
Yeah, that's the big academic question everyone likes to throw
Mm-hmm.
out there. And to just keep it real, it really depends on how it's done. Homeschooling can absolutely match and sometimes even exceed traditional schools in terms of academic quality because you're tailoring the learning to the kids' pace and interests. So it's not really about being less rigorous, it's just about being a bit more flexible and sometimes more personalized. So, yeah, homeschooling can definitely hold its own academically.
Right. So, from what I've seen, many homeschoolers do really well in competitive exams and even get into top universities. So, now, how do homeschooling families handle exams, certifications, and college admissions? That's a big top.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how you're just laying it out there. The cool thing is, homeschooling families have kind of figured out a pretty practical path. They use standardized tests, they can take AP exams, they can do dual enrollment in community colleges, all that good stuff. And colleges are totally used to seeing homeschool applicants these days. So it's really just a matter of navigating the process, and they do just fine. So, yeah,
Of course.
it's definitely doable.
Of course, a big part of this is the parents' role. Some parents feel overwhelmed. So, what role do parents actually play in homeschooling? Do they need to be a full-time teachers like that thing?
Yeah, for sure. And let's just say it straight. Parents don't have to be some kind of full-time superhero teacher unless they want to be. A lot of times they're more like facilitators or guides. They bring in resources, they might use online classes, tutors, community groups. They basically just put together a mix that works for their family. So yeah, parents are involved, but they don't have to do it all themselves and they definitely don't have to feel overwhelmed. It's all about being practical and making it work.
Yeah. So let's talk benefits now. So honestly, I feel homeschooling lets kids explore subjects deeply without the pressure of grades. So, what are some of the biggest advantages of homeschooling over regular schooling?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the big wins is definitely that freedom from the one size fits all grommet. Homeschooling let kids dive deep into what they love and take a breather on stuff they need more time with. So you get that flexibility to customize the learning experience, and it can be a lot less stressful for both kids and parents. So yeah, that's a pretty sweet advantage.
Yeah, well, I guess nothing is perfect. What are the biggest challenges or drawbacks the family should be aware of? It's a big question on the mind of the parents.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always good to keep it real. So one of the big challenges is that homeschooling can take a lot of time and effort from parents. You got to plan things out, you got to stay consistent. And yeah, sometimes there are days when it might feel like a lot to juggle. Plus, you got to make sure you're meeting any local regulations or requirements. So yeah, there are challenges, but knowing about them up front just helps you handle them. It's all about being practical and prepared.
Yeah. So in India, especially with open schooling and online resources, I feel homeschooling could really work if parents are committed. So do you think homeschooling is practical in India or in our society given the current system?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's a really down to earth take. In India, it's definitely becoming more doable, especially with all the online resources and more awareness out there. If parents are committed and they kind of know the ropes, it can absolutely be practical. You might have to navigate some traditional mindsets or local rules, but at the end of the day, if it's something a family really wants to do, it can definitely work. So yeah, it can be a pretty practical option even in India.
Yeah, actually, so in India, right now, nowadays, I have been talking to many homeschooling teachers or the principals of the homeschooling who are like, um, there's in school called K-12 schools. I have spoken to them, and one more, it's Cyborg School, in which they are providing a fully based in a homeschooling format where the kids when they comes for a board exams like for SSLC, the 10th standard and the second PUC, the 12th standard we call. So in this type of examinations, they what they do they select a school where a CBSE board is accredited actually, and they select the school for the kids who are doing homeschooling with them, and then they select the school and ask the kids to go and write the exams over there. But then they'll give us CBSE certifications for the kids. So I've spoken with schools. Yes, I think they are perfect because, as they say, their teachers are well prepared. Okay, so to teach the kids only online because many of the teachers are from the IIT grads. Yes, they have been out from the IIT, so they are actually been well trained to teach kids only online. So what do you think about it? So
Yeah, I think you're hitting on something really interesting there. It's definitely a pretty cool setup where you've got schools, organizations that kind of act as a backbone for homeschooling families. And yeah, having ISC trained teachers or really well prepared instructors is a great advantage. It means you get a good quality education and you still have that flexibility of homeschooling. So I think it's a really practical and smart way to do it, especially in a place like India where you want that mix of tradition and modern flexibility. So yeah, it sounds like a pretty good setup to me.
okay. So actually, as per me, when we talk about education, most people immediately picture classrooms, uniforms, exams, and strict schedules. But I've always felt that learning is much bigger than that. Think about it, every child is unique. Some are creative, some are logical, some are curious, explorers, and some just don't fit in the rigid box of traditional schooling. That's where homeschooling comes in. Homeschooling to me is freedom. It's the chance to design education around a child's strength, not force the child to adjust to a system. It's about learning at your own pace, diving deep into subject that matters and still having time for hobbies, skills and family. And honestly, in a world where even jobs are moving towards flexibility and remote work, doesn't it make sense that education should also evolve? So, yes, I believe homeschooling isn't just an alternative, it's a powerful choice. It may not be easy and it's not for everyone, but for those who embrace it, homeschooling can unlock a child's full potential in ways traditional schooling often can't. So, what do you think about it?
I think you summed that up perfectly. Honestly, it's all about that freedom and that flexibility to let kids really grow in their own unique way. And you're right, just like the working world is shifting, it makes sense that education can shift too. So yeah, it's not a one size fits all, but for the families to go for it, it can be a really powerful practical choice. I'm totally
Yeah.
with you on that.
Yeah. So let's start.
Absolutely.
Let's end this with a big one. Why do you think homeschooling is becoming so popular nowadays? Just give me an answer for that.
Yeah, absolutely. To wrap it up in a nutshell, I think homeschooling's booming because people just want more say in how their kids learn. It's that simple. Parents are seeing the value in flexibility and customization, and they're just making a leap. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just about taking control of education in a way that really fits the family.
That's correct. So today, thanks for being with me on my new podcast channel, it's Mushy Talks. Okay, so it was very welcoming, and you actually given a more knowledge to the people. Okay, so the people would get more benefits of learning about a new system in the schooling, like a new revolution, like it's a homeschooling, which many parents are of actually opting for that in today's society. So thanks for being with us. Thank you, ChatGPT.
You're so welcome. And hey, thanks for having me on your new channel, Mushy Talks. It was a blast, and I'm glad we could dive into this whole homeschooling conversation. Hopefully, it's helpful for everyone listening.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks for having me,
Thank
and
you.
good luck with your podcast.
You do. Bye bye.